everyone, it's Bree. I'm back with another scrapbook process video for the SpiegelMom Scraps design team. And my code is Brianna15. Please use that on your next order and you can save 15% off. I'm going to be starting with this pattern paper by Crate Paper. I believe it's from their latest birthday line. And I'm showing you the 3 sets of sequins that I was going to use. I couldn't make up my mind as to which mix. I thought I might be using a little bit from each mix, but I actually only ended up using the mix Peaches and Cream, which is another mix that was released for the month of January, and it's super, super pretty. And it happens to match the Whimsical collection by Paige Evans with Pink Paisley. So I have been wanting to cut into this pattern paper for a while. I had purchased a full kit from Paige Evans directly not too long ago, and I still love this collection, so I'm trying to use it up as much as possible because I know that she's getting another collection pretty soon, and I do have a lot of this collection, so I'm trying to use my stash and get some stuff used up. So I have that picture at the top left, and it's of my oldest son. We were on vacation, and I snapped that picture when he was standing in front of my grandma's house, and I just love it. And he's like looking to the side, and it's such a sweet picture of him. So for this page, it's kind of themed in regard to my title, as you know from my video, is Dear Wonderful You, and I'm using all of these cutouts that have like little reminders. So one says follow your heart, one says enjoy today, dream big, never stop smiling, things that I want him to always remember. So it's kind of like a letter to him from mom with these little reminders of like he can remember day to day or just about life and things in general. So I had my photo on the left because he's looking to the right. So I thought that I would position these little quotes or these little cutouts to the right of the photo so it looks like he's looking at them. And okay, so I do have to be honest, I actually had a completely different layout already done and filmed using this specific photo with a different collection. And I wasn't too fond of it. And when I feel like I'm not happy with my work and I'm not loving it, I'll just restart it. Or because okay, or in the past I've put it aside and said, oh, I'll just finish it, or I'll like try to resurrect it, or fix it, and I could not make it where I liked it. And a part of it is because, like I've said this in previous videos, I had white cardstock on several different elements on my page, and I had pulled a pattern paper that had cream, and that's all I could focus on. And I had made a shaker, I had made all kinds of stuff with it, and I thought it wouldn't bother me, and I didn't really notice it at first, and then it stuck out like a sore thumb. And I don't know, I do not have any OCD tendencies, but for this specific layout, it was bothering me. So anyways, so back to this project. So I created this one instead, and I am in love with it, and that's why I redid my entire layout, is because I want to love my stuff. And sometimes we just do things that we don't really like or we can push through, but for that specific layout, I just wasn't feeling it, and I didn't want to share it if my whole heart wasn't in it. So I went ahead and adhered all my little cutouts, and I also stitched on each of them to add a little bit of texture and a little bit of something, and I love how it turned out. So I pulled the 6x6 paper pad from the same collection, and I'm layering it beneath or underneath my photo, and I have some vellum already underneath my photo. And I just wanted my photo to pop a little bit off of the pattern paper, a little more. So I thought by adding color behind it as well as the vellum, it made it stand out a little more. And yeah, so I used the stitched hexagon, and then I'm using this butterfly paper because I wanted the blue to make it stand up even more off that light background. Okay, so I love how this turned out so far. I'm loving how it's looking. I thought about maybe outlining all these little quotes or these little sayings, but it didn't work. I just love how I just left it alone. I didn't want to do too much to it. So I'm working on my title now, and I'm using these wonderful tiny foam thickers from the Whimsical collection, and they're very colorful. So I'm working on Wonderful. So like I said, my title is Dear Wonderful You. And hopefully one day my children will look back on my scrapbooks and my pages and see that, yes, although I am scrapbooking uh, because I love to scrapbook and it's my creative outlet and it's something for me, that, but I'm creating these pages for them, you know, that maybe one day they'll look at it and their children will look at them, and hopefully they can see my thoughts and what I made for them. And like right now, they're like, oh, that's cool. But they're not at an age where they can appreciate it as much. And I'm sure their wives or whoever they end up with in life will will look back and maybe love it just as much as me. Okay, so enough of the mushy stuff. I did not mean to get so super deep with y'all, but yeah. This page means a lot to me, and that's why I went there. So anyways, okay, so I'm struggling with my title in regard to finishing you. I didn't know what alphas I wanted to use. I did try the gold chipboard foiled alphas that you saw right there, and I didn't like it. So I ripped up the foam that I had behind my photo, because I was like, okay, you don't need to make it dimensional. That way you can put your title on top of your photo cluster or layer. And I was going to use a tiny blue foam thickers, and I didn't like it either, because then I felt that the U stood out way too much. I did want it to be different, but not where it just drew your eye to mainly just U and you weren't getting the full title. So I went ahead and added the same chipboard alphas that I used for deer and completed the U, so it sandwiched the wonderful, and you knew that that was your title. Because yes, all the little cutouts or cut aparts on the right were pretty. It's very busy. There's a lot going on, but you can still, my title still stands out in my opinion. So I'm going through the 6x12 stickers, and I'm pulling out some of these foiled words. One says imagine, and I'm using the other one that says inspire, because that's what I also want him to remember in life is, you know, use your imagination, inspire other people. I added that little sticker that says make time for joy. Just little reminders that I want, and dream, of course, because I want him to dream. Yeah. And then I'm going to add this super cute chipboard circle element that says chase your dreams wherever they may lead. And then this ampersand just in the middle, just add a little something. And then it kind of says shine and make it work. So I've got some flowers that I'm also putting around my little cutouts, as well as these circle elements that look like little buttons, and more flowers. I'm kind of making sure that my colors are spread evenly around my page. Yeah, the fun part. I really, really love how this layout turned out. All right, now for the fun part, I'm adding my sequins. So once again, the mix is peaches and cream, and you can find it in the shop. I'll have the link below. I'm just going to be spreading them around like confetti, filling in or making little clusters here and there, and then also filling them in where my cutouts are. So I've got the yellows and the blues and the peaches and some pinks. And the tool that I'm using is a crystal katana. I got that at Hobby Lobby. I used a coupon because yes, those things are very pricey in my opinion. And then I've got my little glue, and it is Scotch tacky glue, and it dries clear, and I love it. Yep, just sprinkling them around, making sure I've got little sparkle everywhere. I love how this photo turned out of my son. I wish I could show you like the 15 other ones I took of him. You know, trust me, he does not always look that like happy to be in a photo taken by his mom. Most of the ones that I took, he was rolling his eyes or, you know, making silly faces at me. That's okay. He knows that I try to take some photos for scrapbooking, and he kindly, well, no, not without some huffing and puffing, but he knows that okay, mom, just hurry up, a quick one, as long as you don't post it. As like on Instagram, but even though it'll be like, oh my god, my head, sorry. On a video, it's not like I'll make a separate post just with his face. And I'm sorry for my head. I obviously do not have my little camera set up. so my head doesn't get in there. But I'm like one of those writers where I have to be super up close to my paper. And I usually, sometimes lately I guess I haven't really been adding my journaling on camera, but since this was such a special page, I wanted to write my thoughts down when I finished it so that I wouldn't forget. And I'm adding the month and year from my Felicity Jane roller date stamp. And of course, adding some Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine because it was right there. Just adding some splatters to add a little more sparkle. And that wraps it up. I love how this turned out. Don't forget to use my code Brianna15 to save you 15% off in the shop. There's my final layout. I love this. I hope you guys do too. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.